Hello again, friends, and welcome to another episode of If This Car Could Talk. We've started the new year off right by featuring 3 great cars, all with fascinating and intriguing stories. And this week is no different. Because of the channel, we've become good friends with many of our feature car owners. Louis Dellera is certainly one of them. Lou has always had an affinity for classic Cadillacs, and he has several strikingly beautiful cars in his collection right now. We featured 2 others on this channel, which we've linked in the description below, in case you missed them or would like to see them again. The one you'll see today was recently finished, and it's a real beauty. It's a beautiful and striking color combination, and when you see this sweetheart, you'll know why Cadillac is the standard of the world. Man, if you drove one of these cars, people would know you've arrived, both physically and in social status. Lou will explain all about this car's history, even though he hasn't had it that long. It was fun traveling to and from the photo shoot location, because everyone, regardless of age or enthusiasm for vintage cars, sees this relic from the past and they just smile and wave. Now, let's go for a ride.
Hi, I'm Louis Dellera, and I have a 1960 Cadillac Convertible, also known as a Series 62. So my story started when I was a kid. I just was a kid loving cars, and my father had a gas station when I was growing up. So I would spend a lot of time as a kid at the gas station. Not that I would be doing anything, but I used to Google eye over all the cars. And my family, we always had Cadillacs, so I just always grew up with those cars. And I actually bought a 1960 Cadillac Coupe de Ville when I was 18 years old. And it was charcoal gray with gray interior. I think I paid maybe $75 for it. It was a very nice car, but it had a leak. It had a transmission leak in it, so I wasn't allowed to park the car in the driveway. I had to park it over on the dirt. Well, somebody was driving by and asked my mom if that car was for sale, and she said, "Yes, get it out of here." And that's that story. And that was my first Cadillac. I was 18 years old, and it went on from there. And I think I've had like 5 1960 Cadillacs and 8 or 9 63 and 64s. So it's in my blood. I do want to say that one of the things that I love about old cars is the styling, because when you saw a Plymouth, you knew it was a Plymouth. When you saw a Chrysler, you knew it was a Chrysler, and they all had their own individual personality. But cars today, now you can't, if you don't see the badging, you don't know what kind of car it is. I dare anybody to tell me they know the difference, because they're all the same. I mean, the old cars are works of art to me, and they had so much going for them. If you had a Cadillac, it had to be quiet back then. That was the luxury of having a Cadillac, because they were quiet. And if they were noisy, there was something wrong with them, and you'd take them to the dealer. My car is as it was when God made it. And so even the tires on it they're horrible bias tires, but they're the most expensive cheap tires you can buy, but they're correct for the car. The size of the white wall is 2 1/4 inch. And I have a tendency to rescue cars. Just to let you know, the owner of the car that sold me the car was the nephew of the lady who bought it new at Carlson Cadillac in downtown Phoenix in 1960. It's a special order car because it says so on the tag, SO. And so it's Sienna Rose, which was a special order color. And it has a solid white interior, which back then they had a 2-tone interior. but she special ordered it as solid white seats instead of black and white seats. It had black and white interior when I bought it. And so I decided, I said, this would be really nice when I redo this interior to do it in gray and white. It would be really nice with the pink outside. So I decided to do the car in gray and white. Well, I needed a dash pad. I happened to be in Portland, Oregon, and I ran up with this guy. His name is Jesse. And I asked him, he had Cadillac parts, and I said, hey, by any chance, do you have a dash pad to a 60 Cadillac? He said, well, yeah, I do. It's in the back of the shed. I said, okay. Do you know what color it is? He said, gray. He happened to have a gray dash pad out of an original Cadillac. It was a limousine. And so it was in really nice shape, and he had a gray steering wheel to match. Can you say jackpot? I mean, really, this is just really a jackpot. So when I redid the interior on the car, I redid it in gray and white and changed it from black and white to gray and white with gray carpet and accents. The interior was in very bad shape. There was no fabric left to the front seat. It was down to the springs, and I was sitting on towels and blankets so I could even drive the car. And so I brought it to Chevelle. He's the owner of Atco Interior and Tops on Cave Creek Road in Phoenix. He did a marvelous job on the interior, and I'm very, very pleased with his work. So he had some modifications to do that I asked him to do that could be easily overlooked, but I wanted it to be the way it was supposed to be, and that's just how he did it. So he did a great job. The interior is beautiful. The top is perfect. It's got a white top, convertible top. But the only thing left is possibly the engine. I may do some work on it, but I may not. I may just leave it the way it is. So it's fun to drive either way. It still runs good. There's a lot of torque to it and a lot of power in that engine. But maybe the oil rings are kind of worn out. But it's good for what it is. But the outside kind of had an Earl Scheib paint job. And I thought, this is really gnarly. So I said, I'm going to try something. So I went in the kitchen and got one of those scour pads with the yellow scour pad with the green bottom. And I wetted it, and I put some polishing compound on it and did some swirls. And all of a sudden, the paint came alive. And I was floored. I thought, holy cow, look at this. And so all of a sudden it looked like it had a new paint job. And it just brought the luster out and got rid of a lot of orange peel that was in the car. So it was just what the car needed. Now I had the left side. The left side of the car was a little bit gnarly. It had dimples in it. The side molding on the quarter panel was gnarly, and that's another story on how I got one of those, because you can't find them anymore. And so I was able to resolve that problem. And just recently I had the left side of the car painted, and so they clear coated it and everything and blocked it out, and the car looks just beautiful. It's like a whole different car. Well, yesterday I was at a car show, and they had a fix-up trophy that they presented, and I won. So I'm very proud of the car. It's absolutely great to drive. The attention it gets is beyond imagination. I just love it. So that's the story on my 1960 Cadillac.
Oh, that's a great story.
And I thank Dana and Tom for featuring my car on If This Car Could Talk. Also, I would like to mention that Tom and Dana featured my 63 Eldorado and my 1963 Coupe de Ville. It's a bucket seat car that belonged to my father that I restored, and it's a wonderful car. So if you have a chance, take a look. Type in 1963 Cadillac and see my other cars. They are there.
Lou, you've got a great new addition to your Cadillac collection. You can be very proud of this one because it turned out so well. Lou's also working on restoring what many people would say is the epitome of a classic Caddy, a 1959 model. When he's done with that refurbishment, you can bet we'll feature it here. You'll see in our description below, we've also included a link to our Patreon page. This is an easy way to support the channel to ensure that we continue to bring you worthwhile content. Next Friday, join us again as we recap the greatest car auction of them all, the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale event. See you next week, and please remember to be careful out there.